start the session right now. First of all, thank you very much for joining this special sessions, because TechStylers turned 1. So we are celebrating our special sessions today. TechStylers is 1 year already, and I have to say time flies, because I joined the first session 1 year ago, and I know that then Foyin started with the TechStylers group, and I saw, hey, women into technology and inspire and helping each other. So that was my attracting point to join this group, and thereafter I was stuck into TechStylers. So that's a good thing. And also we have a lot of special guests today. Very thank you for joining us. And May has done a great video for us to celebrate the first year celebration. And I want to show you this. So I share my screen, and then, I share my screen. So you can all see, and here, this is the video. So that was the video, and yes, we can say we are TechStylers. And I would like to give the words to Foyin. So Foyin can tell her feelings and experience after a year. And Foyin, I turn the show to you.
Thank you so much. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and today is really a special day, because when we think back, like 1 year ago, where we're coming from, it's like a a dream how far we have come. And basically, most of us here are friends and members of the house, so we all know what TechStylers is about. We're all about women in the power platform, helping and supporting one another, learning these tools. It started out from the fact that we observed that a lot of women were not coming up or stepping up. So when we have community events, especially in Africa and in Nigeria, we hardly see women coming up to speak about what it is that they know. Right, so we're very quiet. The feminine representation was really low, and that was what started out TechStylers. And of course, I have very special people here today, and each person that has been invited as a guest was invited very intentionally, right? Starting with Keith. I wanted to start the power user group community in Nigeria, Power Platform, and I didn't know how to get started. I was so confused. What do they do in a meetup? I had no idea. And I just reached out to him, and he said, okay, he would join. And I was running late for the meeting. I was so nervous, like, oh my God, my first meeting, and I'm running late. And I couldn't meet up, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm in trance. I'm like, no problem, we can reschedule, it's fine. I was like, okay, wow, that's nice. And we had this first session, and it was basically guiding me with the kind of things you do in a meetup and all that. And we had the first meetup, and Alan showed up, Keith was there, Will was there, and all the crew to support and support our user group starting out in Nigeria. And that was just fantastic. And from there, the whole story about the female representation being low came up. Have call for speakers, engagement. Sam is very aware, but like, where are the ladies? You know, it's either my face or no female representation, or maybe Jumoke, you know, when we're stretching it out to the Microsoft 365 space. And that was what started our TechStylers. And I was telling Sam, I'm like, you know, I was just talking to him and saying, Sam, I have this burden, and you know, women are not represented. We need to help them. What's going on? Maybe we should just have a little community where it's fine if you don't know, just come as you are. We'll support you on your learning journey. And he was like, oh, I think it's fantastic. And then I started dragging. I was like, what was going on? Are you not starting? I said, no, I don't have a name. He said, we will form the name together. And we started tossing ideas back and forth. And we came up with TechStylers. And then he said, for you, you're not starting. And I said, oh, I don't know. I don't have anyone to do a logo for me. He said, don't worry, I'll make the logo for you. And then he went and he made the logo. And I said, oh, I don't like this one. And he said, okay, I'll make another one for you. And eventually, I finally, you know, started out in May. And it was, you know, fantastic, everyone very supportive. And then I discovered that, okay, this vision is getting bigger than me, and I can't do it alone. I'm dropping the balls. And all the amazing women on the call today decided to say, you know what, we all love women, we're passionate, we've been there before, we know what it means trying to be in tech as a woman, so many balls in the air, and we want to support every other person who is a woman and who is interested in this technology that we are passionate about, right? So we got everyone on board. We got Geetha, Donna, Shirley, Michelle, Geetha, May, you know, Eliza, and our student leaders, and we Yinka, Jumoke, and we all started out the journey. So that's basically a very high level story from how we all got started until where we are today. And I'm very excited for everyone who's joining us today. Thank you so much for how you have supported us in the course of the year, attending the sessions and our meetings and supporting in various ways. The video that May did, Give put an amazing one together, which would show very soon. It's just superb. And I also want to say a big thank you to not just the leaders. I mean, Geetha has been so supportive. She said, oh, she wants to start Women in Power platform, but for there's TechStylers. Why should I start out something completely new? You know, you're all here, all amazing ladies in the Power platform are on TechStylers, so we're going to go with that. And I was like, okay, fine. So that was really, really mind blowing. So yes, I want to say a big thank you to everyone. And also to my co-founder, Jumoke. She was very passionate. I said, for you, okay, you know what, I'm going to drive this with you. And we'll sit late into the night, setting up the tenants, adding users, thinking through how do we get the mentors to take each of these courses, what's the most feasible way of doing this. We spent hours brainstorming and pushing ideas back and forth, you know, and she has not seen herself as a co-founder, but also as a founder, just trying to make this thing happen. And the same for all of the leaders. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone for supporting. I know I was supposed to talk about my story, but I don't know, the ladies literally said, for you have to talk on this call, and I don't even have a slide. So basically, I started out, I'll just say my story in 5-7 minutes and hand it off. I started out my career in SharePoint, the collaboration space, the collaboration world, helping the knowledge worker do more with less. You know, so we're automating them with SharePoint Designer, K2, Nintex, and all of those tools, setting up the farm on the physical servers or virtual machines then. And I transitioned to Office 365, still more on the infrastructure side of things. And I was building info platforms. Some of you may be very familiar with that and doing all of that. And I needed to solve a problem. And a friend just said to me, oh, there's Power Apps. And I said, oh, never heard of it. How do I get licensed? He said, you don't need to be licensed. Are you on Office 365? I said, yes. He said, the app is there. I said, wow, I've never seen it before. So he logs on and he shows me Power Apps, how to use it. I'm like, wow. And then he's done and the app looks all fancy. A far cry from InfoPath. I said, no way, I'm not going back to InfoPath. From today henceforth, all of my forms are going to be built with Power Apps. And that's basically how I started using Power Apps and Power Automate. And really, it hasn't been easy because, of course, zero programming knowledge, zero UI UX knowledge, coming from the infrastructure world into system development. I needed to learn a lot. Like I was telling a lot of some ladies I was mentoring 2 weeks ago. I said when I started, I didn't even know what a variable was. I was like, what is this variable they're talking about? And he was saying, oh, my friend said, oh, it's a container, you can put anything in it and all that. I said, okay. So basically that's how my journey has started. And I started building apps in Sterling Bank, and special thanks to our chief digital officer, who was very upfront about transformation, and he understood the place of citizen development, and he gave me that platform of expression. We started the academy, started to onboard people and all of the other stuff I'm sure most of you on this call know. And along the way, relocation came up. I came into Ireland and I got into Avanade, and basically I'm where I am today. So big thanks to the community. A lot of people here, I just chat you up at random hours and say, oh, what do you think about this thing? I'm struggling with this. Can you help me? Because I know when I go to Google, I spend so many hours trying to find a solution. So I default a lot to the community, and I always get support. The Flow Farm, Power Apps Family, Power Platform, so much love. And I want to say big thank you to everyone who has supported my learning journey. And because I've benefited so much, I see this weight to give back. I feel I need to also support other people because I've been supported. And that is one of the things that gave birth to the tech deep dive sessions, all of the mentoring sessions, and teaching the ladies, how to build apps and get all of these things done. So yeah, so that's basically my story in 2 minutes. Thank you so much for listening to me and hearing most of the stuff that you've heard before. So over to our first speaker for today, Sam.
Thank you very much, Wing.
Uh,
That was an amazing intro, and it's a trip down memory lane talking about the Fort and back, because I had just left everything back in the States and decided to come back to Africa, like decided to come back home. And it's also on the same premise of community, because all my years in the States I realized the power of communities. Like I was in the uh, Portland and Beaverton Azure user groups and other places. We traveled to Seattle, to the Microsoft Technology Center, and I realize the support and what you get, the learning, the networking, the connection you get when you're out there. And then looking back home, none of that really existed. And even if the people were trying to do it, probably didn't even know how to go about it. They didn't, it was difficult to get people to speak. The spotlight was even barely on Africa. So when I came back, home, I was like, look, we need to build this. So it was actually one of my biggest priorities coming back, to say that, look, we need to build a community irrespective of whatever it is, because I'm looking at myself, there's a lot of potential, but then how to get about it, people don't even know who to talk to and how to get things done. So the backstory to this, I came down, I was invited to an MCT summit in Nigeria, and for some reason the organizers had some issues, some funding issues and stuff like that. So literally they couldn't have kind of like funded us coming over to give a presentation and talk. So myself and my friend and partner Frank, I was like, guy, let's do this. It's for the love of community. So I remember myself and Frank buying our own plane ticket. We got to Nigeria. The organizer were like, look, things are not too okay, but would you mind sharing? Or like, how, why would do it? I mean, it's for the love of the community. So myself and Frank, shared one hotel room, and then just to make the community work. And to, like people say, if you believe in fate, or you believe that something is destined to happen, that was where I connected with Donna the very first time. And the rest is just history. We came back to Ghana, Accra Power Platform kicked off. Power Africa was, we started talking about Power Africa and all these things. That's why I connected with Jumoke, and then, Foyin and all that. So what you've done, is amazing, because it's a problem that I believe cuts across, the entire continent. In almost every region, you find out that women, are, it's just, a few of them, that are into tech and, doing all these things. And even those that are doing it, support is a big thing. It's either they feel I'm alone in this, and what way can we support, as, brothers, as their brothers, or as, their support system. I was like, hey, you know what, when you need to do this. And then, like you said, she was stalling at some point. I was like, girl, what are you waiting for? Because that was the right moment to do it. The front and back with the name. I remember the logos like, Sam, I don't like this. And then, there was another one. I was like, yeah, I don't like this too. Like we started putting things together. So for me, uh, it's I would say that it's an honor to be part of the journey. And to be very honest, now I am jealous because you know the way you've been able to amass all the female power on the continent, so to speak, and then across the globe. I was like, this is what we're talking about, and then sometimes I'm like, look, we started this thing, and look, she's just whoop. But then that is the excitement, and that is how happy I am, because then in the background, like, yes, I'm part of this success story. So any new person who comes on, any knowledge that is transferred, anything that is shared, it is a huge, huge success. It's just a year, and look at the numbers. Look at all those great women, all across the world that are helping make this happen. I can just imagine what the rest of the years look like. Empowering not just people out of school. I want to see more from like people in college and below, like in second cycle institutions, even way with basic education, to get all these people into it. All we can do, support you anyhow you want it, just put our best out there, and then we can be reaching more and more and more and more women, more and more TechStylers. I want to see it explode, so that it becomes very competitive, so we know that, look, the gap is closing and closing and closing. So to just wrap it up, I mean, congrats. I'm proud of you and the entire team. I'm happy to be a part of it, just behind. And, there are times that we've had our own sessions, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I want to plead, on behalf of, your brothers and your male counterparts, don't sideline. Sometimes we feel like, oh, it's just all, it's all women affairs, so maybe sometimes, just bring us in, so that our man ego will not be bruised a bit. So on a very lighter note, I want to say happy anniversary, congratulations. And then the sky is just, it's not even the limit. We just have to, keep soaring high and doing our best to bring people into this awesome community.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, Keith, you're up next.
Hello. So I mean, like we've spoken a lot about bringing people together, and the fact that we're all already here means that we're incredibly lucky people, right? Foyin said something right at the beginning there. He came to speak about what it is they know, what it is they know, and I thought to myself, that's exactly our issue. Is I can share with you a couple of mistakes I've made over the last sort of playing with Power Platform for the last couple of years, right? One was that I never felt like I knew enough. Okay, I never felt like I knew enough. Constantly learning, constantly driving for more. So much of the fact that I ended up pushing my entire family away from me and getting divorced. Right, big mistake. Don't want to do that in a hurry. So don't do that. Right, get rid of this nonsensical imposter syndrome. No one knows everything. A lot of people pretend that they know stuff and they don't. They learn on the job and they learn as they go along. So stop doing that. That's ridiculous. One way you can learn is by doing the most important thing. We talked about, TechStylers, women in tech, boys in tech, people in tech, everyone in tech. The problem is we're all in tech. We're already here. We talk about accessibility a lot. For us, most of us, that kind of means, the right fonts on the website, the right sizes, the right colors, being a open group. But actually, accessibility goes way, way, way deeper than that. For me, it goes to the heart of the number one problem that we're all facing. Is that we're already here. We're already TechStylers. We're already a group. We're already a community. There's a bunch of people out there who've got absolutely no technology at all. We laugh about it. Like, we do laugh about it. We go to our parents' houses and they kind of bring out that antiquated Windows phone and they say, "Can you fix this thing? Because Microsoft made this phone and I've got this old Nokia thing." And it's like, "Oh, I bought this one." And you're like, "Oh goodness." And yeah, this wonderful chap called Dux Raymond Sy said the most important thing to me that I've heard in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years of my life. And it was that we need to start accepting people in their owniness. We need to find out where they are and we need to meet them on their terms. We need to go to them with the technology that they haven't got. Now, some of the people haven't got a laptop. I taught a bunch of people recently for a group that Trish set up in the UK, Power Platform School, and I was like kind of shocked and appalled that these guys had like the world's smallest laptop screens. Like Power Apps didn't even fit on the screen, and I'm trying to do app in a day with them, and they're getting stressed out because they're switching between a PDF and it literally, like, you know, this much screen to build an app in, and like the fonts are this big because they've got some laptop out of the ark, and I'm like, no, do you know what? I don't care how long this takes. I don't care how many times I've got to explain to them to click on this little circle. And one of the girls on the call says, "You're so patient." I said, "Yeah, because you're only where you are. You're only where you are. So let's go out there. Let's go and adopt someone, right? Let's go and stop worrying about our gender and where we're from, because, you know, I remember when we were doing Power Addicts, right? We looked at the map where all the Power Addicts were. Like, where's all the people in Africa? Like, I know a lot of people in Africa. I live in the UK. Like, lots of African friends. Like, where are all my brothers and sisters in Africa? And there wasn't any. And I'm like, we need to get some of those. So let's go and Foyin was like the perfect incubator for that thing. We need to dispose of this kind of notion of location and who we are and what we are. We need to go and find people who haven't got what we've got. It's the most fundamental thing that we all share. It's this technology thing. We don't share it with people who haven't got anything. They're coming to us. They're coming to our meetings. They're finding us. We need to go and find them. We need to go out into the community that's not our community, other community, one out there that hasn't got tech. We need to go and give it to them. We need to spend time with them. And if we bring them along, our groups will double every year. If we just teach one person a year, just enough of what we know, just enough to get them going, just enough to make them conversant, just enough to make them confident, just enough to get them to know, I know what I know. What I don't know, I can learn, and I can be comfortable with that. We can double our community. We can change the world. We can change people's jobs. We can increase their salaries. We can put people into work. We can do all the things we want to do. We grow our community. We grow our friend set. We have so much more fun. We'll learn so much more because, you know, when we teach, we learn. Like, that's one of the things that's great. But at the same time, just remember, there's a family behind you. They're the ones who are really there to support you. So love them. Love your neighbours, bring people along, and let's go out there and find net new people. No matter who they are, no matter where they are people who have not got tech, and that is the most fundamental lack in the world. So let's go out and do that. That's my plea to you all. So my number one thing I'd love you to do is just go and find someone, accept them in their ownness, and bring them along for this incredible journey that we're all on. Thanks very much. I'm out.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Keith. That was a good one. You meet people where they are, meet them where they are. It's not, you know, and don't compare your 3 months journey to someone's 3 years journey. You know, when you said that, it brought back that message to me. I keep feeling every time that I don't know enough. There's just so much to learn, you know, and the pace is so fast. But I got to a point I started to accept that, okay, I just started this. I'm just 6 months into the Power Platform, right? The other people I'm looking at are probably 2 years old. You know, I've done so much. So I started to appreciate my progress. I started to know, okay, I didn't know this yesterday and I know it today. That's fantastic. You know, so it's important, you know, to celebrate your learning, celebrate your growth, meet people where they are, you know, go and find them, which is what TechStylers has tried to do in the last 3 months. We've tried to find the students. We've tried to find those that are fresh out of school. The ladies are not sure what track they want to do. They don't even have an idea. They just know I love technology and I want to get started. How do I do that? So that's what the tech deep dive sessions have been about. And our mentors have been fantastic. Every Saturday, meeting with the ladies, teaching them, you know, this is how you do this, click here. And the ladies keep saying, I don't know where to click, where? I said, no, this is the place, click here. So it has been a beautiful, beautiful 3 months journey in the tech deep dive. So thank you so much, Keith. Thank you. You remain very precious to me because you help. Like, I was so lost. I wanted to start a community. I didn't have a clue, and you just came. You guided me and all of that, and basically, I'm where I am today. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
You just needed an excuse, and I gave you one.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so our next speaker is April. Drum roll. Thank you so much.
Oh, cool.
Thank you, April, for joining us. April is someone I admire so much.
Oh,
And when I have the opportunity, I'm going to say, how do you make these videos? Like, you always look fab in them, and you're so calm. I'm like, doesn't she have work pressures like every other person? Doesn't she have any deadlines? But your videos are so lovely and they've been very, very helpful to the community. I'm sure a lot of people can testify to that. So I want to know, I'm sure we all want to know, how did you get started? What was the journey like? So yes.
Cool. Well, yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. And just, it's amazing what you all have did here. I love what you did with TechStylers. So kudos to you, Foyin, and everyone that started this thing. I wish I had it when I was starting out in tech. So you'll hear more about that when I talk about my journey here. I think I know most everyone here on the call, but for those of you that I don't know that are on, just a little bit about me. My name is April Dunnam. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, member of the Cherokee Nation here. Just some pictures there of my family, and so is my husband, and then my cat Jingle's there helping me code right there. And then, when I'm not doing tech stuff and power platform stuff, I do like music a lot and like to sing and play harmonica and things like that. So we are big nerds, my husband and I. We even had a PowerShell universal dashboard at our wedding. Where we showed the spikes and attendance of people coming and going throughout there. So I've just always been a super nerd at heart. And what I do, I am a Power Platform developer advocate here at Microsoft. I've been in this role for about 3 or 4 months now. So really excited. My job is to pretty much do everything that I love doing. It's making Power Platform content, getting more people using the Power Platform, speaking at awesome events like this with other people, getting engaged with the community and getting feedback from everyone about, what's lacking or what needs to be fixed, and getting that back to the product team and people that need it. So really love what I do, and so very grateful to be able to see in this role here. So I thought I'd just share a quick little history of how I actually got here. So I've actually always had, kind of a love for technology from an early age. I was, not really, I guess, the typical girl in my group. I didn't really like, Barbies and dolls and stuff like that. I was more wanting to build computers and robots. I did like those robobots and robot wars were like really popular and stuff. So I took classes in school for that, and WordPress and like just website development. That's how I paid my way through college and in high school and made money on the side. So I just always loved technology. But the interesting thing was, when it came time for me to graduate and I was trying to decide, well, what do I want to do? What do I want to major in? Technology wasn't even in my mind. Like I didn't really feel like that was something I could actually do. I think maybe partly was because someone was mentioning earlier, we didn't have like a lot of role models in there. Like I didn't see it as a place like myself, as a woman in particular, could really do something. So I kind of bounced around in college a lot trying to find my path and what I actually wanted to do. So, at one point I was thinking, man, I want to go into psychology. I like figuring out how people think. Another point I was thinking, no, maybe I'll go into education. I'll major in that because I like teaching people. But I'm like, I don't know if I have the patience for that. It takes a lot of patience, and, bless every teacher out there for sure, because that is tough work and lots of patience needed. Then I even thought at one point politics, and I was really interested in that. And I realized I'm never going to make a difference there. It's too messed up. And then even sales and marketing, I'm like, maybe I'll go. So I had all these different areas. I literally changed my major 5 times in school. Because I just couldn't decide. And so it took me a while to realize that technology in that space and coding and developing was my place. So I actually ended up having 2 majors, or 3 and 2 minors in that. So in MIS marketing, and then a minor in psychology and education, just because I couldn't decide. But really, I had my aha moment. When I was I took some computer classes just to see, in school, even though I didn't think that that's exactly what I was going to want to do. And I really liked my coding class when we're going into doing a lot of SQL stuff and C# development. So that led me into pursuing an internship. And that's when I had my aha moment. So I actually got an internship at a local casino here. The Hard Rock Casino, which in Siam, Cherokee, they had kind of a Cherokee student intern program. And I got to rotate all the different IT departments because I didn't know like what in IT I exactly wanted to do. But they actually, in the development department there, were working on a SharePoint implementation. Had no clue what SharePoint was, prior to this at all, but I kind of got thrown into that because that's where they needed the help. They gave me a book called Headfirst into C#, which I still have in my bookcase back there. They said, hurry up, learn C#. You need to help us build these custom web parts that we need for a SharePoint implementation. So that's where I really found my love for developing and, like the collaboration tools in the Microsoft stack, and kind of went with it ever since. The problem, though, when I graduated was about 2008, when the whole economy here in the United States crashed. So I just couldn't find a job doing what I wanted to do in development. So, it was already took all this courage to even think about getting a job in technology. And then I go to graduate and I just can't find a job doing what I want to do. So I had to take a data entry job and do that for a few years. Thankfully, though, I was persistent, and I would kind of find people that were having problems with technology. I would eavesdrop on my cubicle mates there in the data entry department, and we happened to use SharePoint at this company I was working at with that. And I would just randomly help people when I heard they were having issues with SharePoint, whether it's uploading a document, tagging something, a permissions issue. And eventually, management caught wind, and I got promoted to the SharePoint developer role. They realized I knew how to code. So that's really transformed, and set my trajectory from there, what I was going to do in my career, and then led me to the entrepreneurship aspect of starting my own consulting company, focused at the time on, classic SharePoint on-prem dev, and, setting up, doing migrations and all that stuff that I know that you do as well there, Foyin. So, we were a Microsoft partner. We did a lot of SharePoint and .NET development. It went really well. We won a lot of awards. I did this for about 8 years, and of course things started shifting, so didn't do as many on-prem stuff. We focused in the cloud, so I got to hear about this thing called Project Sienna at the time. And unfortunately, I was doing tons of InfoPath development and SharePoint Designer, and I was just sick of it. Like, if I had to make one more InfoPath form, I was just gonna, maybe go pick on one of my other majors and go into psychology or something. I don't know, because I had enough of it. So I started using those tools as soon as I heard about them, and trying to convince my clients to, hey, let's get off of this InfoPath stuff or the SharePoint Designer. Let's switch that over to Power Automate or Power Apps. But really, there was a tipping point that happened. So I was doing this for a little while. Fast forward a couple years there, and we were working as a small company, the Thrive Fast consulting company that I had, just 3 people. And we were working out of this office. We had a very small office there here in Tulsa. And late at night on a Sunday, so thankfully no one was there, no one was injured, we had a really bad tornado. So an EF4, which is a pretty strong tornado, run through. And as you can see, took a beating on our building there. This right there, you can see that window there, was our office. So everything was destroyed, all of our stuff in there. We couldn't get in it for several months, and there was about 200 different tenants in that business. You can see this is a sign across the street that got completely torn down. That's a billboard sign. So really crazy tornado that happened. And I noticed a lot of the people that we got to know in that building that had different companies, they were completely on the verge of, going bankrupt and not having a business, because all of their equipment was there and they couldn't get to it. They couldn't get to any other stuff, and they weren't in the cloud. Like us, we weren't phased because we had our laptops at home. Everything that we did was in, Microsoft 365 in the cloud. We could keep working. We're very blessed in that way, but I couldn't say the same for most of the other people in that building. So, we kind of stepped up and figured out, well, what can we do to help? And I kind of saw it as an opportunity for the Power Platform. So we organized this initiative called Back to Business Tulsa. And we wanted to get donations and kind of organize this effort to get equipment to those businesses that were displaced and, missing their servers, their desktops or laptops and all that. So this is a little clip from the news story that I was in here locally about it, but I organized and helped organize this effort so that we can collect the information. And I used a Power App, the asset management template app at the time, to collect all of the donations and then divvy those out to anyone in business that needed them. That ended up catching the attention of the news, and it just really ignited my passion, I think. I mean, I was doing the Power Platform stuff and I liked it, but it was at this point that I realized the transformation, like what it can actually do to help people, so that really ignited my passion. And from there, I was off building every kind of app imaginable, solving as many problems as I could. And you couldn't stop me from talking about it. I was going from conference to conference. That's about when I started my YouTube channel as well, and blogging, just because I was like, people need to know about this. Like I was able to, in literally 30 minutes, make that application and start collecting those donations and actually making an impact in people's lives. So again, I just couldn't stop talking about it, and then kept going with it. And I found my place in the community, which was super important to getting me to where I was today. I found the Power Addicts, I found the Flow Fam, the Power Users community, started chatting with people in there, posting articles on things that I figured out how to do. It just really, helped me find my home, really. I realized at that point, this is what I was meant to do. All that time I spent in college trying to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? Is this my place? I finally figured it out at that point. And, eventually that led to me getting the MVP, being able to speak at Ignite, some of these big things I never thought were possible. I remember going to Ignite, in that internship that I had, I actually got to go and seeing like the Laura Rogers and Heather Newmans and people like that talking and thinking, man, that would be cool if I made that there one day. And, I finally did. And that led me to being able to have this role at Microsoft. So it's been an awesome journey. Again, so thankful to the community and people like you that have this passion as well, and is nurturing the community so that other people that have similar stories that might not think this is their place or this area can have a community to nurture them and give them the support that they need. That's all that I have.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was, beautiful story. And I think for me, and please, it's a conversation. So if anyone has any comments after any speaker, please feel free to unmute your mics and just go ahead. So it's a beautiful story because it shows your growth process, the way you transitioned gradually. A lot of young people feel that we have all the answers when we got started. Like we had it fixed, we knew this was what I wanted to do and all that. But hearing your story, similar with mine, even when we had Charles come in, he also said he had that point in his life where he wasn't even sure what he wanted to do. So, and we keep telling them that everybody gets to that point, but somehow you would, you will figure it out and it will fall in place as you go along. You will discover what your passion is and you will, start to write with it. So it's a really beautiful story, and I can totally relate to the info part of it.
Yeah, and Foyin, I just want to use this opportunity to actually, piggyback on things that both Keith and April said. So this imposter syndrome thing is a huge thing. So if you look at my channel and way of doing things, people have said, why don't you go the approach of just doing the 10 minutes, 2 minutes videos and then putting it up? And I'm like, look, I am not perfect. They need to see how you struggle, you go. So it's real, like it's live. I'm doing it. I hit a roadblock. I go to Google or, go to the channel. They need to see that. And so that's a real thing. So that's where we're coming as, people who are in this community to let them know, look, we don't know it all. We rely on each other. Foyin can call, I'm trying to do this API thing. How do you go about it? That is why community is there. And also I want to use the opportunity to really say a big thank you to April. I remember somewhere last year, I hit some form of depression because, and like when you ask, how do we get to put content online? It's not easy. You see the final thing, but even putting things together today, it wasn't easy. And I remember I was going, I was at, a very low point. And, April was like, dude, we're here for you. Anything you just, let us know. And I think I've reached out to Alan as well a couple of times, with that Olajumoke herself. So this is what we want to see. And I think this is one of the reasons why a lot of the females don't come into this territory. They need to hear stories like this, like April's story. They need to hear like all our stories. And that is the big thing that motivates and gets them out there for them to know that, look, there's a huge number of people out there that are always there to help you, to get through it. So this, it's a huge one. And, I'm really proud to be connected to this group of people. Yeah.
Okay, same here. Any other comments? Oh boy. Okay. All right. Same here. The Power Platform community is equals to love. Like the first day I met Donna and she came to the office in Lagos, in Sterling, and we had the chat. And the next thing, I mean, my Twitter account, I had only 30 followers. And I just saw a lot of prompts on Twitter. I was like, what's going on? And then I saw she had just sent out my name. I said, oh, I just met this wonderful person who has started in the Power Platform, hashtag Power Addicts, Flow Farm. And everyone just started retweeting and posting. And I just felt so loved. I felt so comforted and so belonged. I'm like, okay, fine, I can do this. I have a whole community of global people ready to support me. And that's really how it is. And I'm re-emphasizing this for all the ladies on the call today. A lot of you may feel shy to reach out. Please don't. You can reach out to any of us at any point in time to say, I'm struggling with this. How can I go about this? Most of us will have had the issue before and we'll just guide you. And if you don't have the answer, we'll find somebody who does. Okay, thank you so much. Our next speaker is Alan.
Thank you. When I saw April's slide, I was like, man, thank God, there's some slides, Because I thought, Foyin, you put me on the spot, because she told me last week, you prepare some slides. Okay, but then there's no slide from Keith, there's no slide from Samil, Okay, so now I feel much better. Okay, so here we go. So for those who do not know me, so my name is Alan. So I drive digital transformation and innovation for Samaj. And then I'm an MVP, Power Apps Champion, and if you want to connect with me, that is some of the stuff here that I put on the screen. What I'm going to go about my story today is to say that it's not an overnight thing to achieve where we are today. So I just want to give you a bit of my journey. Okay, so Mon voyage. So this is in French. So that's my little life story. Okay, in a visualization. So I started in a very small little island called Singapore. Right, that's where I studied. I did my university. Yeah, and I'm not a programmer. I actually study satellite communication. Yeah, so I built satellite. Yeah, and then I work for this satellite company, and we launch a satellite into the sky, right, into the space. Why? Because we want to communicate, right? We want to let people communicate. We want to connect people all over the world, especially places that they don't have communication. So when I started my first 3 years, I literally spent in that blue zone, yeah, but not on land. It's on the water. Yeah. So I was traveling from ship to ship, putting satellite on to get people connected to internet, right? So, and at the time, I'm the most popular guy on the ship, because every time I come on board, they know that, 7 days after Alan is on board, I will be able to send my first email from the ship to home. Or at the time, they have this instant messaging, right? They can instant messaging with their family. So I did a few years, hard time, travel all the time on the road, in the sea, on a helicopter, And then 2001, I got moved to China, right? And that's when the company said, okay, Alan, go try something different. Go do sales, right? So they dropped me off basically to go build a new business in China. And then back then, if people remember 2003, there was the pandemic, right? So the pandemic came about, and then we had to evacuate because it was really bad. And I got a call from my HR. HR say, time to go, you need to move you to somewhere safe, right? They say, okay, let's go, right? And guess what? They dropped me off to Lagos. So that is actually that is why how I have so many brothers and sisters in Nigeria. Yeah. So I have lots of spent a significant number of time, build up a lot of friendship in local community around Lagos, Port Harcourt, or even down to Abuja, right? After spending a year there, I was then dropped off to the sunny Aberdeen. Yeah. So again, doing very much, or still very technical, still satellite stuff. And then the breakthrough come about was when I was dropped off in London to our central IT team, right? So I was kind of like coming from the business, dropped into the IT, trying to fix the IT problem the IT couldn't fix. And then that was my first touch with SharePoint, yeah. And then I realized that, hey, what is this SharePoint, right? It's my first time touching it. And I was figuring, I had no clue what it is. I just don't like the way it behaved, right? So I told my boss, I said, boss, give me a project. Tell me something that you have. It's a big problem in your mind. Then he dropped me something, and I said, okay. I was literally taking a risk. I said, give me the weekend. I will go figure out. I will give you something on Monday. So I didn't sleep that weekend. I spent Friday, Saturday, just Google everything about SharePoint. And then by Monday, I was a SharePoint designer expert. So I came up with a solution. In 3 days, there was like, even our IT folks were surprised and say, how did you do this? With all the jQuery, all the CSS, I was like ripping out the whole SharePoint, right? And then they start to ask me a lot of questions. How did you do this so quickly and so effectively? So that was the very first, the beginning of our citizen developer story in the company. And because of that, right, because of the speed, my boss said, okay, let's do something with that. He dropped him in Houston the first time, and then give me a role called rapid response. And because of the speed that I can do, I say, go take whatever tool you have with SharePoint and build things fast, right? So at the time, when we say fast, it's anything around 1 week. Yeah, we make solutions that are throwing all over the place to the world to help the business at different part of the world in a very fast pace, right? So after driving that for 3 years, then I thought, okay, I have enough. I want to have a break. Then they dropped me off to nice Paris, right? City of love, right? Very beautiful. Unfortunately, I was there in the wrong time. lots of incidents during my 2 years in Paris was hard, actually, very, very hard, because you had lots of unforeseen circumstances with all the attacks on the city by the terrorists, right? And also lots of natural disasters, well, the flooding, right? So I didn't quite enjoy the place. And then economy downturn came, and then so I was ready to go home. I got a call from my CIO. My CIO said, "Are you going? You're going?" Yes. I said, "No." I said, "Okay, I'm ready to pack." He said, "No, you're going not too far." I said, "What do you mean not too far?" Okay. That's when he said, "Go back to Aberdeen." Okay. So that's when second time in Aberdeen, but in the different role. So it's a role that whereby he say, go change the business, right? Go run the information technology group for around the business, enable them, right? So that's where I start playing with Power Platform and say, okay, let me take Power Platform and transform the whole region in Europe. And then I show lots of application that change the way we operate on the field. And I use Europe as a showcase to show the rest of the company and say how we can use Power Platform to drive business differently. And again, it was so successful in 2 years that we did so many projects down there. And I will say, okay, now come back to Houston and drive the whole thing for the whole company, right? So as you can see, this is where I am right now, right? So it's a long journey. Make me feel a bit old in this group, but at the same time, I think it's very, very fulfilling. As you can see, the exposure I get with multicultural, multi-language, multi-continent, right? I understand how people live. It's unlike traveling. This is actually you're living there, immersed into the people, immersed into how people live down there, and that's where you build relationship. And that's where also I identify talents, right? I identify talents that come about with me, and that's where I invest on them, right? So when Foyin asked me to talk about, how am I supporting women in tech? So I want to make it. I was thinking over about it. last few days, how can I make it simple for everyone to begin with, right? So very often we say we support women in tech, but what does it mean? I'm a very practical person. Tell me what are the practical things that you can do, right? So today I'm going to just mention 3 points, right? The 3 things everyone can start doing. When I say everyone, it doesn't matter whether you're female or male. These are the 3 key things that I feel personally that needs to be done. First, you need to set a gender balance goal, right? A lot of people say, I support women in tech, but if you don't have a goal, you don't have a well-defined target, you will not get anywhere, right? So for me personally, everywhere that I go, all the teams that I manage, I always set a gender balance target in my team. I say, because of the heavy industry I'm in, it's very difficult to get a female to work in my heavy industry, but it doesn't matter. I set a goal of minimum 30%. Okay, 30% of my team must be female. Okay, so once you have the goal, you will action on it. If you don't have a goal, you don't have a number, it will not happen. It's just hearsay, right? So put the numbers in you, set the goal to get it going, right? And then while setting the goal, one of the common mistake that people make is that because you're trying to make the goal happen, you compromise. To me, I don't compromise. I want to preserve the credibility. I want to make sure that the people that I place, the female that I place in those positions, they are credible, right? I need to invest in those people, make them become credible. I invest them, I mentor them, I coach them, become the expert that I want to position them correctly, right? So preserve credibility is important because otherwise your first point would not hold by itself, right? So you need to show to the world that, hey, these ladies are here in the position, not because she's a lady, but because she's capable, yeah, because she has proven herself, yeah. That is my motto. And lastly, while doing all this, you need to stay authentic, yeah. Don't change a person to be what he or she not what he or she is not the person, right? You want the person to be who she is. So be authentic, but amplify the values that the person has. Yeah, amplify the value that this lady can bring, the value that can bring into the team, and how that value can raise the level for the entire team performance. So you'll be so surprised if you start following these 3 points. Things will change, team's dynamic will change, and everything will turn positive just because you emphasize on female balance, gender balance in the team. Yeah, so that's what I would share for everyone in terms of supporting women in tech. And before I close, I just want to take this opportunity to celebrate a few individuals that I have over the last few years invested on and has stepped out. And I just want to showcase a few of the talents. So first of all, let's throw back 2018. I was in Aberdeen and I invested on this internship program for Power Platform, right? So I wanted to make this turning internship from school with zero Power Platform knowledge into Power Platform expert, right? So I started with these 2 ladies, Kathleen and Georgia, right? And after a year, this thing happened. This was the day I gave them the employment, yeah. And look at the face. I was looking through the photo. I was like, wow, this is the moment, right? This is where you start seeing the happiness, the joy of the people when they become something, right? And you change people's life along the way. And I want everybody to meet May, right? So May is super active in this group. She is our super media creator in the community. And by the way, she's our most followed female in the company. Yeah. She built 53 apps, 56 flows. So that's where I say credible, right? You need to maintain credibility. It's not just a face, it's they can do things. They make things happen. Yeah. And things everybody needs to know about me. Okay. Do you know she's an active vlogger? If not, check it out with her later. Yeah, she has a YouTube channel about food. Yeah, so I was very, very surprised. She was so good. I'm down there. Go check it out. She is a person of multi-talent. And she builds microcontroller robots, right? She's passionate about making robots to do crazy things in her life. Also, again, check it out with her. Second person is Georgia, right? Georgia is, people know her as Agent 001, right? Me was 008. These are all my agents. And she's the creator of the COVID-19 Stay Safe app that eventually became the reference point for Microsoft crisis communication template that was produced last year. And she's our #1 female power apps maker in Schlumberger. And when I say #1, she's actually ranked #3 overall in the company, yeah, which is there's only 2 guys above her that make more power apps. One of them is me, and another person is a pro dev. Yeah. And she has a lot of apps in her portfolio, 98 and 85. And 2 things you need to know about Georgia, right? I think she's in the call today. Yeah. Do you know she's an accredited basketball official? Yeah, in UK, she can official basketball team games, yeah, a competition. Super impressive. I was surprised when she told me she showed me certification 2 years ago. Again, it's part of her passion. And then she speaks 3 languages. She speaks Russian. Yeah, it's again something that surprised me when I first known her. It's a linguistic. Yeah, so there's another super talent that I uncover along the way and turn them into into the tech industry, right? And the next 2 I want to show you is probably someone that you all have already connected before when I introduced them. It's someone that you probably can invite for the community in TechStylers, right, to come in. So Kara is my new agent 012. Yeah, she is the founder of our digital drive-through. She's very focused on Power BI and data science. Yeah, she is the HR pro data science in the company. So she has access to everything about HR, right? She knows everybody's salary in the company. And she built a lot of enterprise power reports, BI report, enterprise level reports. So if you want someone to talk about, a lady to talk about BI, there she is, yeah. 2 things that you need to know about Kara. Again, I want to put something outside the tech, right? So she is actually non-IT. She's trained in journalism and political science, yeah, but she changed her career last 2 years into learning about BI, yeah, and she spent the last 1 year with me building all sort of crazy enterprise report, yeah, that today become the standard of the company. Well, and she does furniture restoration, yeah, that's her hobby. Again, very interesting personality. Lastly, but not least, 002. That is Caitlin. Caitlin is based in Scotland, in Aberdeen. She is my biggest boat value creator. Yeah, so she created one Power Automate bot last year, 2 years ago, and that bot is so efficient. It's giving back the company 300,000 hours every year. Yeah, she actually replaced a major task, major workflow in our HR hub. Yeah, and that task, the traffic, the volume is 300,000 hours a year. Imagine just with 1 week of effort building one flow, right? And that took care of it. I asked her for 2 things, so 2 big achievements that I can talk about her. She gave me, I had the 300,000 hours, and then she gave me a second one, which was I find quite funny, but quite true too. You know, she said, been followed by Shenyang. I said, wow, that's true. Yeah. Everybody knows how great Shenyang is, and she was super inspired when Shenyang started following her. She was like, wow, okay, that was cool stuff. Okay, let's put it there, right? And again, she's very, very heavy on Power Automate, right? And lots of apps as well. Two things about her, yeah. She has her own real estate management hustle, side hustle. Yeah, she's doing something on the side. She's doing rental properties on her own, right? So she's a smart cookie in managing her finance. Okay, and she's a trained mixologist. Okay, so if you want anything about cool drinks, there she is. She's the one to go to. With that, I close my session. I hope it was eye-opening and inspiration to inspiring for some of you. Yeah.
Certainly. I mean, certainly, I'm totally inspired. Lots and lots of, I mean, aspects of it. And I don't know, feel free, anyone, do you want to say something? May, you kept all this from us.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. So I will share with you later my YouTube channel about the food. So it's a Syrian food, so you can learn a lot of things. But actually, I'm getting a help with my mom. She's from Syria. So I will share it later on my Twitter.
Okay, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
So I didn't know that May blogged about food, but I always saw those very big ice cream cones that you post on Twitter.
Yes. So when you come to Saudi, I will take you there. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'm highly inspired by Alan's talk, and what freaks me the most about what he said is when you have a gender balance goal, you don't just put in just anybody there because you want to feel the balance. You have to get the women that are really good to build credibility, like you called it. I find that really inspiring, and I think it's a very effective method that would really work. But I was wondering, so while we were making announcements for the event, I remember seeing a post that said, oh, come with us because Alan makes agents, power added agents, so come with us. Maybe you might just become agent 0010 or 0 whatever. So I wanted to know, how do you find these people that you mentor? Like, how do you find them?
Yeah, so man, this agent program is actually it's not just a champions program, but it is a mentoring program. Yeah, it's something that I took it on my own to say I need to clone myself into 20 mini Allens around, right? And for me, because this is a mentor-mentee program, so it's a relationship, a long-term relationship that we maintain. Like for May, she and I, we are on the phone every now and then. I think it's very difficult for us not to speak for more than a few days. Yeah. So every other days we are on the phone. Whenever she needs some help, she knows that she has a direct line to Alan. Okay, for any issue, right? And for me, to identify these talents is actually, as a mentor, you need to watch for signs. You need to watch for signals that these are talents out there. They might be raw at the time you found them, but that's the whole thing, right? You want a raw gems and turn them into diamond, right? And that's the role of mentor. You come in and change their life and make them better. I remember 2-3 years ago, May was like the #1 content post person in the Myanmar that posts a lot of contents, right? But she was all over the place. Yeah, her content was very creative, but with lots of angles, that very different angles. Some people don't like it. Some people felt that, oh, it's not focused, right? But then when I saw it, it's like, okay, I could help her, right? So I reached out to her. I don't have to wait for her to reach out for me. I reached out for her and said, hey, are you interested to go into this? Let's form a relationship here that I can groom her. But to answer your question more specifically, I have 3 points when I look for an agent, right? First point, it must have the hunger to learn. Okay, you must be hungry to learn new things. Second, you must be hungry to teach others. Okay, and the third one, I ask for humility. Yeah, 3H. Humility means always stay humble. Otherwise, it's very difficult for you to soak in new knowledge. Yeah. So the 3H: hunger to learn, hunger to teach, and stay humility. Humble. Yeah.
Okay, your mic, Yinka, your mic is on mute.
Yeah, thank you so much. I must say that it's a lot of work you're doing, and I really admire it, basically.
Yes, yes, same here. Thank you so much, Alan. I think we're going to bring you back for a special session. Maybe a session with the mentors, right? It's a session with the leaders and the mentors where you can give us some tips on how to help the ladies and, you know, how to identify this talent, various ways we can support them to become a better version of who they are. Thank you so much. Your story is amazing. I like the fact that you've been to Lagos, right? So you understand.
Yes, I can relate to all of you very, very well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. So we have Sammy on the call, and he has something little he wants to share with us. Sammy is a friend of the house. We all know him. He is he has been also very instrumental with my growth and visibility in the Power Platform. I mean, the whole Satya video was Sammy and Donna. I had no clue what they were coming up with. I just saw a mail saying, "Oh, want to have a shoot with you," and all of that. And he didn't tell me what it was for. So, Sammy, thank you so much. You have the floor.
Thanks, Foyin. It's really good to be here. I just got a shot yesterday, my vaccine shot, so I'm a little bit under the weather today, but I was, I hadn't planned for this. I was listening in, and really inspirational. I mean, all the stories, some of them, many of them I'm familiar with, some of them I don't know, so it was good to, hear some new ones. I realized I had written, it's just the way I tend to sometimes, just for myself in my diary, I'd written a poem last year inspired by, let's just say an individual in this community. And I hadn't planned to share this, but listening in on some of the sessions, the talks today, thought, why not? So it's called What She Did, and it's a 3-minute poem. So I'll just jump right in. What she did. If she did not do what she did, would anyone have noticed? If she did not do what she did, would anyone have noticed? Her job was to administer things. She did that well. To solve problems for her department. She did that well. To deploy technology to make it work. She did that well. She did her job, checked all the boxes, supported her staff, her management. She did it well. But through it all and above it all, she did a bit more, and it makes me wonder, if she did not do what she did, would anyone have noticed? No one asked her to care about lost time lost in spreadsheets, lost in copy pasting the same things over and over again. No one asked her to take the time to learn something new, to make an app, to make it flow, to reduce what took hours and days that was spent doing stuff the way it was always done, to reduce it to minutes, to seconds, to care about progress, to care about creating something new, to take a risk. No one asked her. No one asked her when a colleague asked to build an app to turn around and say, no, I won't do that. You do it. She sat with her colleague and nudged her gently. If I can do it, so can you. And nudged and nudged. Her colleague resisted and resisted, then took the first step and then the next. Asked questions, put boxes on a screen, connected with some logic, and look, I made an app. I built this for my team, for myself, for those who sit on the sideline and watch and wonder, if she can do it, could I do that too? For those that might need a nudge, here, go. She built it for them too. The story continued. From one maker to the next maker, to an academy, to a community, she brought together 5 in a small group. They brought their questions, they brought their spirit, The power of a few, it grew 5, 10, 50, 500, one human at a time, learning, practicing together, creating an example, bringing others along. Back to our question, if she had not done what she did, would anyone have noticed? We pay the price of work not done, dreams not realized, possibilities extinguished, sparks smothered. Why do some grab the torch against all odds, while I sit and watch and admire, and sit and hope, and sit and wait for the rain to stop, for the clouds to clear, for the sunny, shiny path created by another? What is the nudge that I need to make my own, to create for myself, and then for another and another? I wonder, if she did not do what she did, would anyone know? Would anyone care? Thank you.
Thank you, Samia. That's a very beautiful poem. Except I'm not sure who the she is, so it's fine. We can we can leave
I'm
the
not
rest.
sure as well.
I think we all know who she is. I can bet on that.
Sam, I'm going to mute your mic. Thank you, Samia. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for constantly being a part of each and all our success stories. One way or the other, you have been that connecting point in the community, back to Microsoft. Thank you so much for your support and for always being there. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, it's all the work that everyone is doing here. So it's just amazing. And I'll have to drop off now because my son gave me a 11:15 deadline over here, and I'm 2 minutes. So, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Okay, up next is my sister, co-founder TechStylers, Olajumoke, or Ola, as some of us know her. So she's going to briefly, she hasn't told me what she wants to talk about in the slide, but she's going to talk about our journey so far. I'm going to play the video. This video was created by Geetha. Super video. Like, I'm going to have a session with her by the side. You need to show me how you did this. So I'm going to play that video also. Thank you so much. All right, Jumoke, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Foyin. Thank you, everyone. Samuel almost got me in tears, but I had to control myself that, well, Jumoke, you're the one going up next, so you have to manage yourself. Thank you, everyone. Once again, like Foyin has said, my name is Olajumoke Toriola, Ola for short, or Jumoke, or NJ, or Jumet, however you want to call it. I mean, it's fine. I felt very compelled to say I want to have a slideshow, you know, because I wasn't planning to do this. But when I listened to Anna, I listened to Samia, I listened to all the wonderful people that have spoken, I just felt I just need to bring something up real quick and then say something. So for us, TechStylers at One, I hope I can compete with Geetha in colors, but I'm not too sure in design if I can. So for us, TechStylers at Once, about our community. For us, the definition of a community is more than a group of people. It's more than a group of people sharing and having certain attitudes and interests in common. For us, in TechStylers, is about lifting each other. I mean, the past 1 year has seen us doing this. I mean, when we look at the different kinds of people, we see the different kinds of TechStylers that come in, you know, how a lot of them in their low states even feels, oh, I'm already giving up. But coming into TechStylers, you know, for us as a community, as in TechStylers, this is about lifting each other up. It's about also helping each one of us to first discover those inherent skills in us and the uniqueness within each and every one of us. Hence, we can position it to even help others. That is what it means to us being a TechStylers. Again, it's about being that shoulder for that someone that they can lean on even when they desperately need that technical, I mean, that career help they seek. That's what it has been for me for the past 1 year, and I want to bear witness that a lot of us here feel the same. And then it's about sharing and giving out unreservedly. That's knowledge you have to make the other fellow better than you find him, or finder, really. Let me use the right word. Because I remember in the words of Foyin, she said, each time I look at her Twitter and then I look at the slogan she has on it, making it better than how I find it, you know. So it's about giving that person that thing that at the end of the day, when they leave, they are better than when they came into TechStyler. And that is what it is for us. So whatever your definition is, really, whatever is your definition, what I just want to leave us with today is to find a way to make that meaningful, positive impact in someone's life, where you can be that source of advice, that encouragement, motivation that can change that person's life or career path for good, even before they give up on their deep dream. So for us, for the past 1 year, we've been deliberate about this. I mean, it's from the mentorship, from the coaching, from the time we spent, the tight schedule, getting all of these ladies around on Saturdays with different shifts, the commitment and the deliberate effort every one of us has put in. I mean, it's been very amazing, and I want to thank every one of us for it. And so we just don't want it to be what we've done. We want to hear what we've done. And then so we decided to take a round around the TechStyler community, really. And here's what our TechStylers are saying about us. So I'm going to allow Foyin at this point to play the video for us to see. Thank you all. And then wishing us a very big congratulations on an amazing 1 year anniversary. Thank you all. Yeah.
I'm a data analyst and a Microsoft certified trainer. I also mentor with TechStylers. Today, TechStylers is marking their 1 year anniversary. It's something remarkable for every one of us. TechStylers have been doing an awesome job by impacting life positively, especially among the ladies. And we are seeing more women coming into the tech industry, and that's something that is very, very, very commendable.
And I want to wish TechStylers happy 1 year anniversary.
Part of TechStylers, and I'm really grateful for a platform and community like this to learn deep techie stuff, network with people, listen to inspirational speakers from all over planet Earth.
My name is Lavender and I'm a TechStyler. Joining this group has been one of the best things that I've done for myself and for my career. And I say this because I'm surrounded by amazing ladies. Every single time we have a meeting, I leave the meeting feeling inspired, feeling motivated, feeling confident that I'm in the right space, and I definitely leave with more knowledge than I came in with.
Okay, I know we didn't want it to end, right? Thank you so much, Geetha. Beautiful video. Thank you so much to all the ladies for sending in their pictures, their video feedback, their text feedback. Sincerely, we appreciate it. So we're going to put this up online so that we can, post it and read some of the text and, just we share, and we share. So Geetha, you're next. I'm going to tell us what Microsoft has in plan for the Power Platform women as we go into our new year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That video was awesome. I can't wait to I'm going to take that video and I have a meeting with Charles, Lamana, and the team next Thursday. So I want to make sure I'm bring that in and show that to everybody. So I can get my hands on that from you. So yeah, absolutely. First, I have slides too. How about that? So there we go. I'm going to put those up and then put all of you beautiful people back up so I can see you. There you go. So first of all, happy 1-year anniversary. I'm rounding the corner to my 1-year anniversary in my role at Microsoft. I started June 8th in this role. And so I'm so happy to be here. And at this time last year, I was talking with Donna about the role and going through interviews and all of that stuff, and then getting introduced to Foyin with TechStylers and hearing about it and getting excited and all of that. So I just want to say congratulations, first of all, to all of you for all the work you've done coming together as a community to help each other and to share and to grow. It's huge. So yay, big congrats. It's awesome. So I'm going to go into some slides. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey, and then I'm going to tell you about what's up with Microsoft. How about that? Yeah. So I'm going to do that. So one thing I wanted to share with all of you, something, a tip and trick. All of you have your smartphones, right? Hanging out right next to you. You have a LinkedIn app as well, most likely on your phone, right? LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, in the app, you all have a area at the top where you can, in the search bar, show your code, right? You can also scan someone else's code. Now, this is great for in person, but you know what? We're not in person, right? But as a speaker, when you're out there giving presentations and you want to connect with people quickly, that's my code to connect with me on LinkedIn. So I suggest when you're out there giving presentations, go into this app, take a picture of your code and put it somewhere on your slides while you're introducing yourself, and then you get connected with everybody who's listening to you speak, right? So instantaneous LinkedIn, okay? So something to think about. So if you want to try it out, I'll leave this slide up while I'm talking a little bit. So I am Heather Newman. I know so many of you already, and I'm so excited to work with you more this year. I've definitely TechStylers and also Power BI Women, which Kelly Kay and some other folks have started kind of around the same time, are definitely two focuses of mine for the year coming up. And we've got some things that we're going to do with you. The one thing for sure coming in June, and then I'll talk to you more about some other things. But so my journey in tech, and then also sort of growing up, I grew up in Michigan. And so in the middle of the United States, and I spent time in Illinois, and you can see if it had wheels, I rode it. I was in the Girl Scouts and Brownies, and that was my dorm room. University of Washington, where I plastered, I really like Sting, what can I say, and Prince, and love music and all of that. So that was me growing up, riding, roller skates and skateboards and all that fun stuff. And then I went to college, like I said, at University of Washington. That middle picture there of me is me at 19. That was my headshot because I was a theater major. Razzle dazzle, y'all. I was not in tech. I was not in computer science. I was not in math. I was not in biology. I was in theater. Okay. So I performed, there's me with a mustache on, playing a guy in one of our roles in one of our school plays. And then I'm also a published playwright. And I used to run a theater company with a couple of friends in Seattle. And I was a director and a producer and a playwright and an actor. And I did that for about 3 years at the same time when I had started at Microsoft, actually. So that was back in the early 2000s and the late 90s. So this year, y'all, is my 20th year in and around Microsoft. okay? I started when I was 30. In July, I turned 50, and I use a lot of moisturizer. So there you go. But so, yeah, so I started in 2001, SharePoint portal server when it was called Tahoe, and I helped create all of these things that were made out of paper, books and catalogs of partners, books and catalogs of solutions, CD-ROMs full of catalogs and solutions, right? And also our first road shows for SharePoint, our first airlifts for SharePoint. I went all around Europe and did all those kinds of things. I started as a full-time employee 18 years ago, and then I became a vendor after leaving the company. I have done everything ever since. I have been an MVP in the Office solutions area. I've worked for Microsoft as a consultant. I have my own business. I think I've done everything. I picked up the garbage. I was an event producer for a long while. And I do have to say, I will name drop a little. I did get to demo to Mr. Bill Gates back in the day and worked with him a couple of times. So that was kind of fun too. So my career has been very much saying yes. And especially when I didn't even know what I was doing. I wrote the first 125 case studies, or at least produced them for SharePoint. I finished that project and they said, well, can you create this marketing campaign for end user adoption? And I said, yeah. No idea how to do that, but I said yes, and I figured it out. And honestly, y'all, that's been kind of my career. I've always been a gadget head technologist. I always worked at engineering firms with my day job when I was doing theater full time. But it seemed to me that I approach everything like I'm producing a play, because it's sort of the same thing. There's somebody with the money. There's somebody with the idea. There's your actors who are your players. You always have a script of some sort, right? And all the beautiful things around of design lead all to that same thing. I'm a producer at heart, right? So whether it's theater or luggage or, technology, I approach it like, let's put on a show, right? So I had a company for 13 years called Creative Maven. I still own that company. And I was doing marketing tech for a lot of our partners and also for Microsoft. And I helped start a lot of diversity and inclusion areas at lunches, at shows, and different places around the world. And I also helped with Ignite when we did the diversity in tech in 2019, when we launched that whole effort. I was behind the scenes helping Shauna on all of those things, which was really fun. So I love writing about corporate culture and employee engagement. And so then I started speaking. And then when I became an MVP, I started traveling. I've always traveled for Microsoft, but I really started speaking when I was being an MVP. So I was all over the world. In 2019, for example, I did 28 events in 6 different countries. And so South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, London, our own country here in the United States, all over the place, right? And I know obviously all of that's changed with COVID, but it was something that I feel very blessed and grateful to have done. Couple of years ago, you see Donna and Sarah up there. That was on the Ignite big stage. You know what that was? That was the brainchild and launch of the Less Code, More Power video show. So I was on stage with them when they started talking. And so I think someone called each other a fox, and I can't remember what the animals are, but you remember this? And that's where that show was born from. Good ideas happen in the moment, for sure. I was a community reporter at Ignite, so I love having a microphone in front of my hand. I love speaking in front of people. I also have a podcast that I still do called Mavens Do It Better, where I interview mavens or experts in the world. It's one of those things where I find something that I'm interested in, like, how do you do a podcast? I don't know. I'll figure it out. And so thus my podcast was born, right? So, I have been literally, y'all, 20 years of running around the world on behalf of Microsoft, figuring out tech, saying yes to things, and also making sure I'm supporting my brothers and my sisters and everyone else to get them to feel like they can level up, they can be a part. And to me, community is all about belonging, what we belong to. And again, Donna comes up again. I have a few women in my life, and it seems to have been women for the most part, that I say it's all your fault. And Donna is one of them. My other friend, Nancy, she was the one who gave me my first job at Microsoft back on the SharePoint team. And lots of folks in between, and men, women as well. But Donna called me up last year and said, hey, you need to come back and work at Microsoft and run this community. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds great. And I'll tell you what, everybody, you know, COVID's been tough, very tough on all of us. And we have different ways that we've dealt with it. We're all still dealing with it. For me, you know, I was running a marketing consultancy and was an MVP, right? So my revenue streams were from people hiring me to create technology marketing for them, and then running around the world doing workshops and getting paid to do that stuff, right? Well, what do you think happened to me when COVID happened? Gone. Everything was gone, right? And that is the story of many of us, even on this call, and all sorts of people that we know, right? So we've had to pivot, we've had to hustle, we've had to figure it out, right? You know? And so I feel like I was given a beautiful gift from a friend where I got this job, and it happened to be around that time. And so I feel so grateful and thankful that I get to, one, do something that I love, which is build community and work with all of you. But also I was given a gift at a time when I didn't know what I was going to do, you know, and that's real. That's like real deal stuff, y'all, you know. So I'm very happy to be here with you. And with the customer success team, I think right now we're in an interesting time because we've kind of reorged, that famous term at Microsoft, the reorganization. And I've now got all of the community program managers working with me and for me, under me, for you actually, at Power Platform and Dynamics 365. And so I've been resetting sort of what are our goals? How do we want to help our community? And to me, the biggest thing that we need to do, listen to you and see what it is that you want and how we can help you. So I reset what I believe our vision should be. And I think engaging with our community members, providing first-class experiences and human connections, and then also creating programs that delight. And so this is what we're going to take into this next year and really work on these things with our community by listening to all of you and really leading in gratitude and thankfulness. I mean, it's just, you know, sometimes it's getting out of the bed in the morning is like, okay, I did that, you know, and even then making your bed afterwards, right? That's one thing you get done every day. So I wanted to tell you that this is our North Star going forward. And all of my team is going to be a part of this. And I am working on how I bring this into our product team, how I work and inspire our internal community to connect more with all of you, our external community, because we are actually one community. And when we're healthy inside, we're healthy outside, right? Something that I'm going to bring to the table coming up in June, and Foyin, I have confirmation that we're good to go on that, is so a really good friend of mine, Alicia Dara, who lives in Seattle. She's amazing. She works with our Microsoft executive women, and she's worked with people all over the world. And we're going to do a session for TechStylers in June called Power Voice for Women. And so we're going to bring that in, and she's going to come talk to you all and talk about finding that power voice that we all have inside of us and helping us with our presentation skills as we go along, because that really, truly, you know, being able to present, I think, is some people's biggest fear, right? Like even a talk like this is people's biggest fears, right? So how we present ourselves in meetings, how we're able to potentially become a speaker, to talk at these user groups, all of that. I want to help make sure that we're working on that with all of you, and not just once. So we're going to do one with Alicia, and then we're going to bring her back again to check in on everybody as well. Something else that we have coming that I'm excited about is called Project Connect, and it's part of the user group program where all of you, so we're on a Teams chat right now. We learned some things today about, you know, setting up meetings and making sure we have a chat that we're going to go through and we're going to work on with folks, right? So Project Connect is about having the Microsoft field folks that are in local areas outside of Microsoft, so globally, connect with user group leaders so you know who they are. I am all about transparency and visibility. I want you to know who the team is that is responsible for community success. I want you to know our team. I want you to know who they are. I think sometimes in the past I've seen Microsoft put a bit of a wall up about, you know, you're like, who the heck is the person that runs blah, right? And then you're like, well, I don't know who to go to. And so I want to really change that as far as our community goes. And so that's going to roll into our field as well. And I want to say Ama Kutsi, who is on our marketing team, who is awesome. This is her project, and she has done a great job building this with us. It was a great marketing and engineering effort together, and it's launched. And we're just starting to do the matching of folks. So I'm really excited about that. Also, I think many of you also know, so a sister community within Power Platform, Power BI Women. If you are interested in Power BI and want to join that group as well, they have their stuff on Meetup. They also have they're bringing everything over into this new area as well, and on the community tenant. So I know that I believe they meet on Wednesday evenings, my time, Pacific West Coast. And I know Kelly is thinking about how to make sure with her with Jackie and her other folks, how to make it more globally, available for folks outside of the United States. So I'm really excited about those as well. And I think, one of the other things we really did was try and rethink the user group experience. I know that, kind of like others have said that, not everybody has the best Wi-Fi in the world. Not everybody has all this fancy stuff that we do, 3 screens and my, all this jazz, right? So how do we make user groups on our community platform available and free so that folks have a place that they can leverage to have Teams meetings, to host documents and all of that stuff? So the creation of user groups on this community platform is all about that. It's about letting user groups run themselves, be independent without Microsoft being all like, but we want to provide a platform and infrastructure that is free that can be used. So think of the new area on the platform as a place to like house and show your user group, list your events, to share them. And people have said, should I move from Meetup? Should I move from this place? Should I move from that? I think it's kind of up to you. If people want to keep their Meetup for advertising purposes, keep your Meetup. It's fine, right? I don't think it's terrible to have things in 2 places so that you can attract more people into your user group. One of the things that with the platform is that we're just like Foyin has been working on with our team is everybody gets a Teams in the community tenant, and the Teams engineering team launched this last year, and we're partnering with them. So Caruana Gatimu, whose name you might know, and Lori Popmeyer over there, who we should probably have come do a TechStylers sometime and come speak, and I'll hook that up. They created that last year so that we could support user groups and people who are doing digital events, moving from physical to digital when COVID started. So this is all about giving user group leaders tools that they need to support their membership and to have it be free. And every leader gets an E5 license on Teams so that we can have them be able to play and try things. Maybe, we're going to work on like, how do we pull some Power Platform goodness into that community tenant, So if we're thinking about building some bots and all that kind of stuff in the community tenant, that would be rad. So we should talk about that. So there's a lot of goodness going on with this. But here's the thing I'm going to tell you. We're in public preview. We did minimum viable product. Are we on the same level as some of the other Meetup and area groups there yet? Nope. We're not. We're getting there. We're going to have general availability coming this summer, where we're going to give administrative tools to the user group leaders, where we're going to make it easier to add an event. And by the way, that event form, I'm cutting it in half this week, so it's easier to deal with. I know. Don't even tell me. Foyin's laughing because she's like, that took me like 15 minutes to fill out. But anyway, so there's a lot of goodness coming, and we're excited to have all the feedback coming in. Because you're learning a lot, right? When you're building a product and you haven't done it before, you're hearing and listening from the community what's needed and how to make it better. And so we're in the engineering mode of putting all those things in with our engineering devs on my team to get all that stuff built. So I'm super excited about that. And we're going to continue pushing on that to bring more groups in. We have about 250 right now. I think there's about 750 user groups in the world that I know of. And so I'd love to see all of them jumping on, and in places in the world where there isn't a user group, support those leaders who want to create them over there too. Lastly, one of the things, so I've been, Foyin, I'm going to give you full credit for this, is that, or I'm not sure who said this, but anyway, I've been looking for a name for a new video series that I've been wanting to put out that I'm going to talk about highlighting community members and also talking about how people can get more out of the platform and then stuff coming new with products and all of that stuff. So we have all the videos planned and I'm going to film a couple of them next week, but I think we're going to call it Spilling the Community. How about that? No shade, all gratitude. So I think that's what we're going to call it. And that's all your fault because you put that in the tweet. So I'm going to see if I can get that approved. I'm not sure if I can or not, but we will see. So we're going to launch that soon. And I want to do more how-to videos on how to use the platform, how to make sure, you know, channel meeting versus Teams meeting, all the things sort of in the community. And I would like to feature all of you. So I want to have folks on and talk about who you are and what you're doing. And as a gratitude piece of us saying thank you for what you do and then amplifying it out into the world. So like, I mean, I'm gonna have to do like 4 videos a week to like get all of you in, but you know, we'll see about that. So, but we'll figure that out as we go. And then lastly, I wanted to leave you with this is that my dad gave me a poem. I'm gonna read a poem as well, Samir. So that's good. I know he's not here, but it really has always struck me. And this is the poem. It says, when I was young and free and my imagination had no limits, I dreamed of changing the world. As I grew older and wiser, I discovered the world would not change. So I shortened my sights a little bit and I decided only to change my country. But it too was immovable. As I drew into my twilight years, in one last desperate attempt, I settled for changing only my family, those closest to me. But alas, they would have none of it. And now as I lie on my deathbed, I suddenly realize if I had only changed myself first, then by example, I would have changed my family. And from their inspiration and encouragement, I would then have been able to better my country. And who knows, I may have even changed the world. Each one of you on this call, you're a leader, you're a friend, you're a colleague. You can do anything you set your mind to. And the fact that you're all helping each other do that is amazing. And so I want to encourage you to continue doing that and say thank you for what you're doing. And remember, it's all about what we do and changing ourselves, and people notice. And that's what it's all about. You all belong to a great family here, and let's keep growing that family and bringing more people in. I love all the speakers, what you said, and thank you for the opportunity to chat with you. And please know, anytime you need something, I want you to email me, ping me on WhatsApp, all of that stuff. I'm here to support and help traverse a lot of this stuff at Microsoft and anything else as well. So thanks so much and congratulations again.
Thank you, Geetha. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like when we talk about community, you know, we all know Geetha. She has been here for a long time, doing all of this stuff and pulling all of us together, even though we're in various directions. So thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of TechStylers. Thank you for being an ally to us. Thank you for the upcoming session in June. I was totally thrilled when you mentioned it. Right, well, I haven't said anything yet because he had not confirmed the dates to me. So it's a good thing that we're all hearing about it now, and we really look forward to it because for tech ladies, this is an area that we're not necessarily the best. I mean, we're very good at our computers and putting the stuff together. But when it comes to presenting and, you know, having those conversations, storytelling, you know, you've done all the hard work, but then it's time to tell the story and you can't even figure out how to put it together. So I know that session is really going to make a big difference for all of us. So thank you so much. Okay, Geetha, you're up next. I don't know if you have any questions. Geetha is gonna help with that. So the raffle is up.
Sure, yeah. I think who doesn't love a raffle, right? So we're gonna take the next 5 to 10 minutes to go do a raffle, and Foyin and the team have some fun ideas for the prizes. We're not revealing that yet, but we're going to have one winner, and unfortunately we don't have the chat working, so I'm not able to paste that. So I kind of put it all together in the slides. Scan this QR code, or if you want to type it all out, go to rebrand.ly/TechStylers raffle. And then remember, whoever is the winner will be tweeted out via the TechStylers handle. And we would request that the winner connect with Foyin on Twitter. That's her Twitter handle there, or connect with her on LinkedIn, and you can claim your prize. So I'll just leave you all to go scan that and get your entries submitted, and 1 entry per person. And I think while we wait on that, I think we should all feel free to use the forum to, add any thoughts, any feedback, or any discussions, or any suggestions anybody has to help TechStylers continue down their path of recruiting more TechStylers going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the challenges that I realize, especially it's general to all communities, not just TechStylers. Kind of like the latter part of what Foyin said is putting everything together. Because sometimes, and even, when Jumoke was presenting the slides, that different people with different skill set, which I believe can be harnessed, in the group. For example, I know, May does awesome graphics and, media content. So amongst the local groups, when you're putting some of these presentations or things together, it helps bring them in, so someone could be good at graphics, someone could be good at, putting, other stuff of, the presentation or the session together. It would be good to tap into all these, extra skill sets. So it's not just, well, I want to learn Power Platform or Power Apps or Power Automate. We could also leverage their, other experiences or skill set to make it also viable in the group so that they feel a lot more inclusive, than just you being in your own corner and struggling. Is the presentation looking good and stuff like that? It's just something I just wanted showing. And for me, it was actually surprising that, Alan's agent, I've actually had the chance to interview a few of them on my show, but those other hidden things they kept away from me. So it's good to know some of these extra things that you guys do, and then we can see how that can help support each other when it comes to having a final presentation or doing or build or like putting things out. Just something I just want to share.
So just to echo that, if you have any gaps, just let me know. I will drop another agent like me.
Definitely. Definitely, I'll do that.
Does everybody have their entries in? We're gonna do our drum roll for the raffle. All right, looks like I have about 12 entries here, so we'll give it a minute and watch out the handle for TechStylers. And of course, we're going to be using tech, combination of forms and Power Automate to run our raffle today.
Yes, and the credits for that goes to Geetha. She built the amazing raffle flow and form behind it. Thank you.
I was expecting a tweet, but I don't see it out on the...
Is Vicky still on the phone?
I think she's here. Victoria, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
All right.
She's actually one of our tech mentors in Power Apps. So
nice.
Victoria, put on your video.
Oh, we don't know if she's video ready. All right, thank you so much, Geetha. So, Victoria, I'll connect with you to get your gifts.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
sorry, I'm not ready.
It's fine. We all understand. It brings us to the end of our first year anniversary. I think we should take a picture. If we can all turn on our videos, maybe we can use the large gallery, maybe together mode. Let's see.
You need to sing happy birthday, right?
Oh.
We haven't sung happy birthday.
Okay, so
we can't not have a cake or sing happy birthday, right?
all right. So Shelley, you're going to help us with that.
Okay then. Ready, steady. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to TechStylers. Happy birthday, TechStylers.
And many more.
Thank Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for all you do. And we look forward to a fantastic new year as we keep impacting lives and changing people's stories for the better through technology. All right, so it's a wrap. So I'll see you in June. It's June 19th. Next month, we're going to talk about personal branding, presentation skills, and all of the awesome stuff that Geetha has told us about. And we'll share the information on all our channels so you can join in. And I think the men can join in too. We won't mind if you want to. Because I know someone is going to come after me. All right then, cheers. Have a lovely afternoon, evening, morning, from wherever you are. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, April. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Geetha. Thank you to all our special speakers for today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
Great day.
Bye.